All right, we had to break into that report from Nicole because we were following this breaking news right now. It is a high-speed pursuit in the city, I believe, of Beverly. Well, it's on Beverly Grove or in the Beverly Grove area in Hollywood. Looks like they're on North Fairfax right now. Not exactly sure of which law enforcement agency is on top of this, but whoever it is, they are certainly right behind this vehicle here. And they are wanted for reckless driving. Not sure if this is one driver or more than one person in this car. Don't know if it belongs to this person or if it could be a stolen vehicle or not. And again, not exactly sure which law enforcement agencies are involved in this, but they are right behind. Okay, now I see CHP, which would signal to me that this may be started on a freeway, possibly, because that's usually when the CHP gets involved. But they are right on the tail of this vehicle in the Beverly Grove area, who, as you can see now, has been weaving in and out of traffic. Going to try to find out what kind of vehicle this is. Don't know for sure if it's an SUV of some kind. We've had a number of pursuits today. Not long ago, we had a pursuit of a Kia Soul, and actually that turned out to be pretty dangerous because they had suspects inside who were armed and considered quite dangerous. It ended in the city of Compton. Okay, and I'm going to take back some information, folks. This is live, and again, we don't have Desmond today or our Mike Rogers, so we're getting this information as it comes in. I'm going to be changing up some information for you because now we understand the CHP is not involved. The CHP is not involved. So still trying to get a handle on which agencies are following this vehicle, even if it's more than one agency, if they're flying from above. That is our chopper pilot who is taking these pictures, but he is there by himself and not exactly sure what happened there. They were on North Sycamore Avenue in Hollywood. We might be able to get another picture of this as it comes around this tall building. Yes, okay, I can see the law enforcement vehicles behind, and there it is. Okay, there's the car in front again. I'm trying to figure out what kind of car this is, if it was stolen or not, but wow, all right, it's getting pretty sketchy there. Almost ran into someone at that intersection at North La Brea and Sunset Boulevard. And now, whatever agency is behind this vehicle, they are certainly picking up speed. This is a Friday night. They obviously want to get this over as soon as they can, with, of course, no injuries to anyone, including the driver, but certainly innocent drivers on the streets and pedestrians. And now he's on Fountain Avenue, just passing Detroit Street in Hollywood. And from our speedometer, going about 40, 50, well, now it's jumped up to 75 miles an hour. So I'm sure they are hoping that this vehicle would slow down a bit, considering they could see law enforcement right behind them, but then that's not always the case. Sometimes that makes these drivers just speed up and they get more aggressive because their adrenaline is going and they want to try to get away as fast as they can. Of course, we know what usually happens is they're not always able to get away. In fact, most of the time, they don't. But what law enforcement hopes in any situation is that no one is injured in these kinds of pursuits. Okay, now we're still on Fountain Avenue, passing North Stanley in Hollywood. And again, I'm trying to get more information for you to understand what law enforcement agency is behind this and if there is a chopper overhead. But right now, it just looks like they're following from the ground, and that is our helicopter above. Okay, we're getting into a pretty busy section of town right now, which is going to make this even, it's going to speed up the officers wanting to get this over quickly. You can imagine a Friday night in Hollywood. Now he's driving on the wrong side of the street, and we're hoping that people that are out trying to enjoy themselves or going to see family members for this Easter weekend will do it safely. But you never know when something like this happens. That just makes everyone a little bit more upset, nervous, especially if you're driving on the street. Now they're in West Hollywood, and they seem to be, oh, wow, driving on the wrong side of the street again here. They seem to be, but not exactly sure where this started. I wish I can give you some idea as to where this person could be headed. If we knew where it started, I can tell you if this was the same area. When we got on this chase, it happened, they were still in Hollywood, but now they're in the West Hollywood area. And still not sure if there's more than one person in this vehicle and what happened, why they are running from police. We don't know if this has been reckless driving. Oh, I see now. Reckless driving pursuit. Well, they're certainly driving recklessly now, but would be nice to know exactly how this happened and why police got involved in the first place. If they were called, or if they just happened to see this. Wow, now they're really driving recklessly again, driving through center lanes. All right, this is actually the Bell Police Department, which also makes one believe that this may have started in the city of Bell, and they want to continue with this chase, but now getting very, very dangerous. The last moves that we've seen in the last half hour or last 15 minutes or so have been quite pretty remarkable, considering this vehicle has not run into any other vehicles. They're not stopping for stoplights. They're blowing through traffic. Again, that was so very, very close. Not even sure if he actually clipped this car or not, but doesn't seem to show any signs of slowing down whatsoever. So now we're in the Mid-City area on North La Cienega Boulevard and Westmount Drive. And again, driving on the wrong side of the street, but law enforcement not backing off. That's Bell PD. They are right behind this car, and now they're driving on the wrong side of traffic as well, which just goes to show how much they want this to end, I would say. Running through a red light there. Don't have any idea at this point what this driver is trying to do except to get away from officers at this time. Hi, Chauncey. Chauncey Glover is sitting here. Do you have any more information, Chauncey? We're kind of going by the seat of our pants here because we don't have Desmond or Mike giving us some information. So whatever you could add.
And I can tell you our assignment desk, they are working hard. They're making phone calls and trying to make contact with investigators. But now on the side of the road,
he just divided that traffic, actually.
Yeah.
It looked like he just went down the middle of the road in between traffic there and continues. Now he's on San Vicente Boulevard. Look at this.
Wrong side. Yeah, that's the wrong side of the road. I'm hoping no other cars are going to come up or they'll be able to get out of the way in time. And we did confirm with police, the initial reports came back that this was a Lexus. It's a Lexus sedan, according to folks on our assignment desk. They're making calls and trying to figure out exactly where this started, because right now we don't know the origin of the chase, where it started.
Look at that, just made another turn.
Yeah,
on the
it's
wrong
still on the wrong
side
of the road.
Again.
Yeah.
And we don't know where it started. I'm surmising, because Bell PD are still involved on this, that it possibly started in the city of Bell. So they certainly have, traveled some distance here. But again, now we're around a tall building, which is going to also make it a little difficult to follow this. And we know what happens usually if they get around buildings like this. They try to find a place to go into, a parking lot. Well, I see law enforcement there. Nope, he's still driving. Now he's on Orange Street.
And I tell you, police, they have been on this suspect's track ever since we picked up this chase here at the top of the 9 o'clock show. And this suspect seems to be quite desperate, driving on the wrong side of the road at times and weaving in and out of traffic. But as you see, police right there, right behind this suspect, who is wanted, we're told, for reckless driving. Once again, this is a Lexus, according to our assignment desk, and they're working right now to get some more information about this chase, where it started, and exactly the circumstances surrounding on how it started. But they just lost police here down this side street. He's on
called Barrows Drive, and apparently, when we thought that he could have sideswiped that person, from what I saw, that it may have been confirmed that that's what it was. And this driver may be thinking that if he's driving on the wrong side of the street, that police are going to back off and not follow him. So they won't, that would just present an even more dangerous situation. But we certainly are on top of this. Our pilot in SkyCal, there he's making another turn on 8th Street. And again, we believe this started in the city of Bell because Bell Police, Bell PD are still on this chase. Now, we're not exactly sure if...
We've lost him. I don't know if... No,
Don't know if he's
there
he didn't
is.
lose him. What
Yep.
it is, they're going behind a tall building, so that makes it difficult. But that's still, that Lexus, it almost seems to be slowing down a little bit.
Yeah, I thought they were about to turn into that garage. There's a big garage right there. Looks like our shot is has died there.
Okay, well, here we are, and we're following the radar behind us, but we're in the middle of watching this high-speed pursuit right now. It's at Wilshire Boulevard. We do have our picture back from SkyCal. We just lost it again, so we're going to be going in and out of this, but this was a Lexus, apparently a sedan, started, we believe, in the city of Bell, and now it has ended up in the Mid-Wilshire area. This person still driving on the wrong side of the street. He's been doing that since we got on top of this. I want to say at the top of the 9 o'clock hour. So now it's just almost anything goes. He's just not following. Talk about reckless. This is beyond reckless now. We do believe that he sideswiped a vehicle.
Okay.
And I'm going to show you that again, or our Mike Parrott is going to show you that again. See how close it is? Okay,
Yeah, looks
we're
like
waiting
he,
right
there.
There
Barely
looks like
missed
he's yeah, possibly sideswiped that car there. And he's still going in Mid-Wilshire area. We believe that is still Bell PD, but not exactly sure who else is
Oh, barely
if they're
missed
involved.
that car running through this light. Once again, on the wrong side of the road. This could get dangerous. This is as police are still on this suspect's track. Now we're on West 6th Street and Orange Drive, still in the Mid-Wilshire area. Police right behind this suspect, driving recklessly, going in and out of traffic, and also driving on the wrong side of the road at times, coming very close to those cars. But
even right there.
Yeah.
And we're not, you know, you try to think about ways that this could, that what law enforcement is thinking. They haven't really backed off since this started. You wonder, is there a possibility of them trying to get ahead of this if they knew sort of a path of where this person was going, that they could lay down some spike strips. He's driving at a rather high speed, well, mid-high speed, 50s and 60s, and usually they certainly don't like to do a pit maneuver at those speeds. Of course, we have seen it happen, and you just never know. Right now, he's on a much more quiet street. We don't see it. It's not as wide.
Oh, there was an officer there. We don't know if they were able to put out strips or not.
Not enough. Well,
Yeah.
that road is a little, I mean, in terms of them trying to even do a pit maneuver and a spike strip, because they wouldn't necessarily want to be seen by this driver. We have seen them do that, but, you know, it gives them enough time to try to avoid a spike strip being thrown.
Another danger post here. I saw someone walking across the crosswalk there whenever this suspect blew right past the red light. So this could get even more dangerous, especially with the suspect running lights and people walking across the street. There was one time that he just barely missed a pedestrian that got across the street just in time. And here we are on Good Friday. It's a holiday. So many people may be out tonight for various events and stuff. But this driver, just desperate, running from police, driving on the wrong side of the road a good portion of this chase, and weaving in and out of traffic. This as Bell Police right there continuing to follow him.
Okay, we understand that this is a Lexus GS. We have someone with us on the phone, retired Chief Patrick O'Malley. Mr. O'Malley, thank you so much for joining us. Can you hear us right now, sir?
Yeah, I can, Pat. Hello, Pat and Chauncey. How are you?
All right, retired sergeant. I wanted to elevate your status there, okay? Just want to let you know. Can you see what we are looking at right now, sir?
Yeah, this one's been going on for a while now. I'm actually really surprised that the police units have stayed behind them all through Hollywood and the busy streets and wrong side of the road and everything else. But in a lot of these cases like this, they can't, due to the tall buildings and everything, they can't get the helicopters that low. So they obviously made the decision to keep the units behind it. and they've actually stayed on him pretty good. But it's been pretty crazy. A lot of pedestrians, wrong side of the road, and everything else. So it'll be interesting to see how this one ends.
You know, I'm interested in what you just said there too, Sergeant, that the reason that they probably are on behind the vehicle still is that they're not able to get a chopper in the air at the distance because of the tall buildings. So at this point, do you think that's something that they have to do? Not necessarily being concerned about agitating this person even further, but it's sort of like they have no other choice but to do this. Look at him. It's like a cat and mouse. He's going in and out with law enforcement.
Yeah, it is. And the early information was that it was a stolen vehicle. So I don't know if, there's a carjacking involved or something that elevates it where they just don't want to let it go. But, Bell is a smaller police department. It looks like they had been trying to get up there early to pit the vehicle, but they haven't been able to get up on him yet. It's just the officers in the field and the sergeant that's behind it and the watch commander and the officer all making the decision to keep this one going and until it ends. But it has been pretty reckless and probably one of the more wild ones we've seen recently.
And so at what point do police say, okay, we've got to do something? We've seen this suspect driving on the wrong side of the road, barely missing cars. At what point do police say, okay, this is getting too dangerous, we've got to do something?
Well, we see it a lot, especially in Southern California. A lot of departments just they weigh all of the options and all of the things that are going on, and the biggest one is the danger to the community, the danger to the suspect, and the danger to the officers that are chasing him. And it really depends on the crime also. So if this is simply a stolen vehicle and you have this level of reckless driving that's going on, a lot of times they'll just make the decision to let it go. But clearly, so far on this one, they're still on it. They've backed off a couple times, but then they seem to get right back on him. So I think that the way they get up on him as soon as they can, when they get close enough, it just seems like they want to do a pit maneuver on this car. Mm-hmm. And with the damage on that back bumper, I think that they may have already tried to do a pit maneuver early on in the pursuit, and they just haven't been able to get back on him close enough to do another one. Well,
that's really some good information there, Sergeant, that we hadn't heard before. And certainly, if that's the case, and he's still going as fast as he's going, or still driving to get away, that could have even agitated him even more. Now we understand he's in Koreatown, very busy, as has been the case practically for most of the areas that we have seen him in. But look at this. Now you get to even more traffic, wider streets. Now he's in Westlake. So we're wondering, what do you see a pattern here so far, Sergeant?
Well,
you know where he could possibly be headed?
Yeah, he's staying in the heavily occupied areas, that's for sure. He went through that whole West Hollywood area, and I mean, he couldn't have had busier streets, just like it always is on Friday nights or on weekend nights. And the good thing is now it looks like he's starting to get away from those areas. So I'm sure at this point the officers are happy to see that. Get near a freeway, get up on the freeway. I'm sure that at this point they're just thrilled to have him away from those really busy areas.
Right. And I was just going to ask, you talked about the danger to the public, all the factors that they, that goes into it, making a decision on what to do. You talked about the safety of the officers, but also the safety of the public. But you talk about Hollywood and then West Hollywood and there in Koreatown in some very busy places. Are you surprised that they, allowed that or didn't do something, ahead of and hopefully this doesn't happen, but ahead of a crash with so many people out?
Yeah, and they're planning different tactics behind the scenes. The biggest one that they like to use are the spike strips. But in those heavily occupied areas with all the vehicles that are always passing, it's very, very hard to do. Plus, he was making really crazy turns in the wrong directions. So to get set up for that, it's really hard. At this point, it's a smaller police department, Bell. Obviously, their supervisors and their policies dictate that they are going to continue this pursuit. They're probably taking into account that when they did back off a little bit, his driving continued, as crazy as it was. So they just feel that if they let him go, then someone else could be in jeopardy of getting in a crash with him even when they're not chasing him. So this is where they're at now. And, hopefully coming up in one of these areas where there's not a lot of vehicles, they can get up on him and do a nice pit maneuver and take him into custody.
Yeah, if he gets closer to the downtown area, Dodger Stadium, we're going to get more in restricted airspace. I noticed he had an opportunity to get on the 101 freeway at some point, and he did not. He chose to stay on surface streets. Does that suggest anything to you, Sergeant?
Well, he did pop up on the freeway right when I was saying that, but the problem was there was too much traffic.
Too much
and
traffic.
You could tell. Yeah, he didn't like that at all. So he just got off on the first off ramp, and now he's back doing the things that he was doing before. So, at this point, they're really getting up on his bumper. It seems like now they're probably hoping that maybe he can run out of gas or something else to bring this to a conclusion.
And the reason that we are far away right now, Sergeant, you probably know this, we are getting closer to restricted airspace. So we just wanted to tell our viewers that that's why the shot is so far away, because we are restricted. We're going to try to fly around this. We're going to stay on it. And as you can see, it's paralleling the 101 freeway, which traffic seems to be moving a little better at this particular point. But we'll find out in just a moment if he did venture to get back on the freeway or if he is still on surface streets. And as far as we know, Bell Police are still the unit or the agency that has been following this driver, this pursuit, who was wanted for reckless driving. We can look at some video before of what we've seen earlier tonight. And this is where we believe a spike may have happened. A spike strip may have been thrown.
And I think this is also that intersection where he barely misses that car, and we thought that that car was sideswiped. Sergeant O'Malley, while we watch this replay, I want to go back a little bit. You talked about how this had been going on for a while. Do you know what time this started and any information surrounding the beginning of this? At first, we had gotten information that this was a reckless driving case, but now you said at the beginning that this may have been this is a stolen car pursuit.
Yeah, I think it's been going probably about 30 minutes, but the original information that I got was stolen vehicle. It may have been got the attention of the officers due to the reckless driving. So I'm actually not 100% positive of those facts, but that was the early information that I had heard.
And Sergeant, we appreciate anything right now. I think we can confirm that it's a Lexus GS that this person is driving. And we are still efforting to find out where they are now. We are showing you video from earlier this evening, or just really moments ago. This person was driving still recklessly, obviously, in the Koreatown area. And he managed to go back to Westlake. There he is, almost hitting a vehicle there. So now if it's going into downtown LA, that's going to present more problems. Sergeant, you know this because you're going to get into those tall buildings where this person can just duck into a parking garage and try to escape this that way. Sergeant?
Oh, yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, it's hard to say right now. It looked like he might have got near that freeway again and then came back in our direction, but it's just too hard to say. I'm not hearing anything right now, so I'm not sure if it ended or if it's still going.
Yeah, and Bell PD still on this chase. They've gone from Hollywood, where we picked it up, to West Hollywood, to Koreatown, and now our assignment desk is telling us the chase is heading into downtown. Certainly a lot of ground there, Sergeant O'Malley. We talked about earlier all the factors that police are, taking in and making a decision as to trying to end this. But where do you go from here? From Hollywood to West Hollywood, Koreatown, and now through downtown. How do you see this all playing out?
Well, as it continues, and especially because Bell seems to be holding on to this until the end, a lot of different agencies have now been advised as it went through the different jurisdictions. So, you've had LA sheriffs and LAPD and, all the other small departments that it has traveled through all get advised that it's coming through, but no assistance is needed at this time. So as of right now, with the 3 units from Bell PD that are in it, and they've been able to stay up on his bumper, and I'm sure there's at least 1 or 2 air units that are up above, they're just riding this out and hoping that it ends in a good way and the suspect's taken into custody and nobody is injured.
Yeah, we certainly hope that too, Sergeant. And, right now we're just wondering if we can find where the vehicle is because of our inability to fly through restricted airspace. It's difficult anyway, but especially even when you get downtown, you've got those tall buildings that you have to maneuver around. It's easy for cars to get lost, if they want to. There's so many different places that they can go besides running into a parking garage. There are warehouses and other things that they can do. Now we're looking at Crypto.com Arena.
All right.
We still haven't been able to find the vehicle at this point.
Yeah, you see that one police car police cruiser there right downtown. Sergeant O'Malley, I want to go back to you. We talked about Bell PD being a smaller department. Are you surprised no other departments haven't joined in to help on this to try to end it?
Well, when the pursuit's going on, usually it will be 2 officers, 2 field officers, and a supervisor. And so even, if they were going through other jurisdictions and you just have your standard 1 to 2 occupants, no weapons known, that's what you would put on a pursuit, is the 2 officers and a supervisor. So, if it turned into a foot pursuit or a foot bail in these areas of these other jurisdictions, that's when all of those other units would roll into the area, set up a perimeter, and then they would, use the dogs or whatever to try to take the person into custody.
Okay, Sergeant, we're looking at something here on South Figueroa Street. We see a lot of, flashing lights from law enforcement vehicles, so we're not exactly sure if we can find that Lexus.
Is that it?
GS. I'm not sure if that's the car or not.
All the way
Can't
over
even
to the
make
right.
out if that's a car. It may be. Do we see a vehicle there with the? It looks like lights are flashing.
Yeah, and I will say this is
stopped.
And this is the first time we've seen police stop. So it's looking like that car in the far right lane might be that Lexus that was involved here in this pursuit.
And it's interesting, Sergeant, if you could see how the vehicles are the vehicles lined up that way so they can get traffic around this car that we think they have cornered.
Well, the way the units are set up, it's not your normal felony type of traffic stop, so it almost looks like either the car pulled over or they were able kind of to pin the car up against the curb. But I see people walking around, so I'm wondering if they've already taken him into custody. Mm-hmm. The officers look pretty relaxed, so I think that it looks like it's probably a code 4 and the suspect's in custody.
All right, well, we're hoping to confirm that that's what we're looking at right here. Again, it looks like a vehicle off to the side of the road, pulled over, lights flashing. Yeah. Now we see, I don't know if those are officers or just pedestrians walking around that vehicle. It's so dark, it's hard to tell.
Those look like
officers. They have flashlights.
Yeah.
What do you think, Sergeant?
Yeah, it looks like a pretty relaxed posture right now. So, it's really hard to say exactly what happened to get to this point. But the officers are sticking right next to the car, so it doesn't look like somebody took off running and they're not looking for anybody. So it looks like it's the termination point, and it looked like it ended in a good way.
All right. And I think I can confirm that that is a Lexus GS, and that's what's on the side of the road there. So I guess, Sergeant, we are going to call a code 4 for now, but certainly we're going to stay on top of this and make sure that we have that correct information. Thank you. I hope you don't get far from your phone, Sergeant.
All right. Have a good